Every single day, the world is testing you. It's not testing your strength, your talent, or your intelligence. It's testing your mind. Because when life hits, it doesn't aim for your body. It aims straight for your thoughts, your emotions, your will to keep going. And the truth is, if your mind isn't strong, the world doesn't even need to break you. It will simply wait for you to break yourself. We live in a time where comfort has become our cage. We avoid pain, we run from struggle, and we disguise weakness as self-care. But make no mistake, if you don't train your mind to endure discomfort, the smallest challenge will feel like a mountain. The world rewards those who can push through, who can fight even when they're tired, who can silence the voice that whispers, "I can't." You see, life will never hand you peace. It will hand you problems and expect you to earn peace through resilience. Every setback, every rejection, every failure, it's your opportunity to toughen your mind, to build the kind of strength that doesn't flinch in the face of chaos. Because the goal isn't to avoid pain, it's to become unshakable in its presence. So ask yourself, are you training your mind or are you letting the world train it for you? Because one way or another, your mind will be shaped either by your discipline or by your defeat. Toughen your mind or the world will do it for you. And trust me, you won't like its methods. The modern world tests mental resilience more than ever before because every aspect of our lives is now intertwined with constant pressure, comparison, and uncertainty. We live in a time when distractions are endless, expectations are sky high, and failure is broadcasted for everyone to see. The pace of life has accelerated beyond what the human mind was designed for, and as a result, maintaining inner strength has become a daily battle. People are connected more than ever through technology, yet many feel more isolated, anxious, and mentally fatigued than any generation before. The world no longer breaks us through physical hardship. It breaks us through information overload, social pressure, and emotional fatigue. To survive, and more importantly, to thrive, mental resilience is no longer optional. It's essential. Every day we face invisible tests. Some are subtle, a comment that stings, an opportunity that slips away, a moment of doubt when we wonder if we're good enough. Others hit harder, loss, rejection, failure, or betrayal. These moments reveal the truth about our mental strength. The ones who crumble are not weak, they're unprepared. The world is unpredictable, and resilience is the only armor that allows us to adapt, recover, and keep moving. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not that one faced fewer obstacles, but that one learned how to endure and grow from them. Mental resilience transforms pain into power and setbacks into lessons. The modern era has made it easy to appear strong, but difficult to actually be strong. We post highlights, chase validation, and measure self-worth through numbers on a screen. But beneath the surface, many are fighting silent battles against stress, doubt, and emotional exhaustion. Building resilience means stepping away from the noise, reclaiming control over your own mind, and learning to stand firm when everything around you feels unstable. It means understanding that the world will not slow down, the challenges will not disappear, and waiting for life to get easier is a losing game. The world will always demand more than you expect, and your mental resilience is what decides whether you break or rise under that pressure. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel pain. It means you don't let it define you. It means acknowledging that while you can't control what happens around you, you can always control your response. The modern world will continue to test you in ways that previous generations could never imagine. But those tests are not meant to destroy you. They're meant to reveal the depth of your strength and the power that comes from mastering your own mind. Comfort is the silent destroyer of inner strength because it lulls the mind into a false sense of security and satisfaction. It convinces you that ease is success, that peace comes from avoiding struggle, and that growth can happen without discomfort. The truth is, comfort feels good in the moment, but slowly erodes the very qualities that make you resilient, disciplined, and driven. When life becomes too easy, the mind loses its edge. It becomes fragile, unprepared for the realities that inevitably come when things don't go according to plan. Comfort teaches you to expect smooth paths, but life will always deliver rough terrain. And when that happens, those who've lived too softly often find themselves breaking under pressure because they've never learned to endure friction. The modern world sells comfort as the ultimate goal. Convenience, instant gratification, and effortless success. We've built a culture that rewards shortcuts and discourages struggle. But what it truly does is weaken our ability to handle adversity. Every time you choose the easier route, you trade long-term strength for temporary relief. The body gets weaker without resistance, and so does the mind. The more you avoid discomfort, The smaller your comfort zone becomes until even small challenges feel overwhelming. True strength isn't found in comfort. It's forged through consistent exposure to discomfort, through doing the hard things when your mind is screaming for rest. When you train your mind to find calm in discomfort, you become unstoppable. You stop seeking escape and start embracing effort. You stop avoiding the storm and start walking into it with purpose. The moments of struggle, pain, and exhaustion are the moments that shape character. They are the fire that burns away weakness and reveals the kind of person who refuses to break no matter how hard life hits. Comfort will always whisper lies. It will tell you that you've done enough, that you deserve to rest, that it's okay to stop pushing. But every time you listen to that voice, you fall further from the person you could become. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you challenge yourself to go beyond what feels easy or safe. The people who achieve greatness are not those who live the most comfortable lives. They're the ones who willingly step into discomfort every day. They understand that pressure creates diamonds, that resistance builds strength, and that real fulfillment comes not from staying safe, but from conquering the hard things that once felt impossible. Comfort is seductive, but it's also dangerous because it kills potential quietly. To grow, to become unbreakable, you must learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because that's where the mind hardens and true strength begins. Life doesn't get easier, you get stronger. This truth is one that most people spend years resisting because we are conditioned to believe that one day the storms will stop, the obstacles will vanish, and the path will finally be smooth. But the reality is that life never simplifies itself for anyone. The same challenges that test us today will return in different forms tomorrow, and the only thing that changes is our ability to handle them. Strength is not given, it's built through repetition. Through facing adversity, learning from it, and refusing to be defeated by it. Every hardship you overcome doesn't make life softer, it makes you tougher. It sharpens your focus, deepens your resilience, and strengthens your belief that no matter what happens, you can endure and rise. Many people waste years waiting for circumstances to improve instead of improving themselves. They hope for lighter burdens instead of stronger shoulders. But growth never happens in the absence of struggle, it happens through it. Each difficulty that challenges you is an opportunity to evolve, to expand your limits, and to realize how capable you truly are. When you stop wishing for an easier life and start developing a stronger mindset, you shift from being a victim of circumstance to being a master of endurance. The people who thrive in life are not the ones who avoided pain, but the ones who learned how to carry it with purpose. The process of becoming stronger is uncomfortable because it demands consistency, patience, and resilience. It means waking up after failure and still choosing to try again. It means confronting fear, doubt, and insecurity head on instead of running from them. Strength is not a single act of bravery. It's a daily decision to keep pushing forward even when you're exhausted. Each time you refuse to quit, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of more than you imagined. Over time, that mindset becomes unshakable. What once overwhelmed you becomes manageable. What once frightened you becomes familiar. And what once broke you becomes the very thing that built you. The world will never stop testing you. There will always be new challenges, new disappointments, and new lessons disguised as hardships. But the measure of your growth lies in how you respond. As you evolve, life doesn't suddenly become easy. It's your mind that becomes stronger, your spirit that becomes steadier, and your will that becomes unbreakable. The battles don't fade, but you transform into someone who no longer fears them. That is the essence of strength, not in escaping difficulty, but in meeting it with power, composure, and the quiet confidence that nothing can truly break you anymore. Adversity is not an obstacle, but a training ground for the mind, because every struggle, every setback, and every moment of pain carries within it a lesson designed to strengthen you. Most people look at adversity as a punishment or a roadblock, something that stands in the way of success. But in truth, adversity is the path itself. It is the forge where character, resilience, and true mental toughness are built. Without struggle, the mind remains soft. Without challenge, potential remains dormant. Every difficult experience you face is a test that reveals who you are when comfort is stripped away and only persistence remains. It's not the easy days that shape your strength, but the ones that demand everything from you. When adversity comes, it exposes your weaknesses. It shows you the limits of your patience, your courage, and your self-belief. But that exposure is not meant to break you. It's meant to guide you. It shows you where growth is needed, where your foundation must be reinforced, and where you must develop discipline and endurance. Those who avoid adversity miss out on the very experiences that could make them powerful. Life will never hand you strength wrapped in ease. It delivers it through discomfort and struggle. Each time you endure pain, you are training your mind to handle greater challenges in the future with calmness and clarity. Adversity also teaches perspective. It strips away illusions and forces you to see what truly matters. When you face difficulty, you begin to value effort, persistence, and gratitude in ways comfort can never teach. It reminds you that strength is not about avoiding pain, but about transforming it into wisdom. Every failure becomes a lesson. Every rejection becomes redirection, and every hardship becomes preparation for what lies ahead. The most successful people are those who learn to use adversity as a teacher rather than an enemy. They understand that when everything falls apart, that's when real growth begins, because chaos tests what comfort cannot. The mind that learns to embrace adversity becomes unstoppable. It no longer fears failure, rejection, or pain, because it understands that these are not signs of defeat, but opportunities to evolve. Every obstacle is a training session for mental endurance, teaching you how to stay composed under pressure, how to adapt when plans collapse, and how to find purpose in struggle. Adversity doesn't make you weaker. It reveals your strength and shapes your mindset into one that cannot be broken by circumstance. It is life's way of preparing you for greater heights, not by making the path easier, but by making you stronger for the climb. Mental toughness is forged through discipline, not motivation, because motivation is fleeting, unreliable, and often dependent on how we feel in the moment. Discipline, on the other hand, is steady and unwavering. It's the force that keeps you moving forward long after the excitement has faded. Most people wait for motivation to act, to start, or to persist. But the truth is, motivation only visits occasionally, while discipline lives within those who choose to build it. Mental toughness doesn't come from bursts of inspiration. It comes from consistency, the willingness to show up and give your best effort, even when your mind tells you to quit. Discipline trains the mind to act based on commitment, not emotion, and that's what separates the strong from the average. When you rely on motivation, you become a prisoner to your moods. Some days you'll feel unstoppable, and others you'll struggle to even begin. But when you rely on discipline, your actions are no longer controlled by temporary feelings. You don't need to feel ready, you just do what needs to be done. This kind of consistency builds a deep level of mental toughness because it proves to your mind that you are capable of control. You stop negotiating with your excuses and start commanding your focus. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you reinforce your inner strength. That repetition, that daily effort becomes the foundation of an unbreakable mindset. Discipline also develops resilience because it teaches you to work through discomfort. It's not about perfection, but persistence, doing the hard things repeatedly until they no longer intimidate you. Through discipline, you train your mind to handle resistance without hesitation. Whether it's waking up early, sticking to a workout, studying when you'd rather relax, or pushing through fear, these acts of discipline are small battles that shape your mental armor. Over time, the discipline you build in one area of life spills over into others. You begin to approach every challenge with calmness and determination, knowing that your strength lies in consistency, not in emotion. The strongest minds in the world are not the ones who always feel motivated. They are the ones who act regardless of feeling. Discipline is what transforms goals into habits and dreams into reality. It's what turns ordinary people into exceptional ones because it teaches self-control, focus, and perseverance. When you live by discipline, you no longer wait for the perfect moment. You create it. Mental toughness grows each time you choose effort over comfort, progress over excuses, and action over hesitation. Discipline doesn't just build success, it builds a mind that cannot be broken, no matter how hard life tries. The difference between those who break and those who rise is mindset, because the way you think determines how you respond to every challenge life throws at you. Two people can face the same hardship, yet one falls apart while the other grows stronger, not because of luck or circumstance, but because of perspective. Mindset is the invisible force that shapes your emotions, actions, and endurance. A fragile mindset sees pain as punishment, while a strong one sees it as preparation. When your thoughts are trained to find meaning in struggle, no setback can permanently defeat you. The world will always present obstacles, but it's your mindset that decides whether those obstacles become walls or stepping stones. A weak mindset focuses on what went wrong, on what's unfair, and on the reasons why something can't be done. It feeds on self-doubt, fear, and blame, making every challenge feel impossible. But a strong mindset looks at the same situation and asks, what can I learn from this? How can I adapt? How can I rise? This shift in thinking changes everything. When you believe that every experience, no matter how painful, serves a purpose, you stop seeing yourself as a victim and start seeing yourself as a warrior in training. Mindset doesn't erase difficulty. It transforms your relationship with it. You stop avoiding struggle and start using it as a tool to refine your strength. Those who rise above adversity understand that their power lies in control. They cannot always control what happens, but they can always control how they think, react, and move forward. This is what mental toughness truly is, the ability to remain calm when everything feels chaotic, to keep faith when results are nowhere in sight, and to keep pushing when every part of you wants to stop. The right mindset gives you endurance, and endurance builds mastery. Every small victory over your own thoughts becomes a building block for greater resilience. Your mindset creates your reality. If you believe the world is against you, you'll live defeated. But if you believe that every obstacle is shaping you into someone stronger, you'll begin to rise in every situation. The difference between breaking and rising isn't about the size of the challenge. It's about the strength of your inner dialogue. When your mind believes you can endure, you will. When your focus remains on growth, even in pain, nothing can truly break you. The strongest people are not those who never fall, but those whose mindset refuses to let them stay down, no matter how many times life knocks them over. Progress is built through consistency, not bursts of motivation, because lasting growth comes from what you do regularly, not what you do occasionally. Motivation feels powerful. It gives you a rush, a spark of energy that makes you want to act. But that spark fades quickly. The real foundation of progress lies in what happens when the excitement is gone and you're left with nothing but the choice to continue or quit. Consistency is what turns actions into habits and habits into transformation. It's the quiet repetition of effort that compounds over time, even when results aren't visible yet. Most people chase motivation, waiting for the perfect mood or moment to start. But the truth is, the ones who achieve real change are those who act regardless of how they feel. Motivation may start the journey, but consistency finishes it. The gym session, the study hour, the creative practice, the small effort done day after day. These are what shape progress. Even the tiniest actions, when repeated, create momentum that grows stronger with time. Missing one day doesn't ruin you, but giving up when motivation fades does. The mind often craves excitement and novelty, but progress is built in repetition and discipline. It's about showing up even when it's boring, because each consistent effort plants a seed that eventually turns into growth. The results may be invisible for weeks or even months, but they're happening beneath the surface, building a foundation that sudden bursts of effort can never match. When you rely on consistency, you take control of your progress. You stop being a slave to emotion and start becoming the master of your actions. The power of consistency lies in its simplicity. It doesn't demand perfection, just persistence. Even on bad days, doing something, no matter how small, keeps your momentum alive. It's the daily commitment to improvement that separates those who dream from those who achieve. Progress is not about intensity, it's about endurance. One step a day doesn't seem like much, but over a year, that's hundreds of steps forward. While waiting for motivation keeps you standing still. Consistency builds trust within yourself. Every time you follow through, you prove that you can depend on your own word, and that self-trust becomes the backbone of mental strength. You start to see progress not as an event, but as a process. A daily choice to keep building, keep trying, and keep moving forward no matter what. While motivation flickers like a flame, consistency is the steady fire that burns through resistance and lights the path to real, lasting success. Small daily actions compound into massive long-term results because real transformation is not the result of one big effort, but the accumulation of countless small choices made consistently over time. Every single action, no matter how small, adds a layer to your progress. It may not seem like much in the moment, but over days, weeks, and years, those small actions begin to stack up, creating momentum that's impossible to ignore. Just like drops of water eventually shape stone. Consistent daily effort reshapes your habits, your mindset, and your future. The mistake most people make is underestimating the power of small steps. They think progress must be dramatic to matter, but the truth is the quiet, steady effort is what leads to the biggest breakthroughs. The compound effect works because progress is cumulative. When you take small actions every day, you create habits that build upon each other, amplifying your results. For example, reading 10 pages a day doesn't seem like much, but that's over 3,000 pages a year, enough to change the way you think and live. Saving a small amount of money daily turns into financial security. Doing a few push-ups each morning turns into strength and health. These small choices are like seeds. You don't see growth immediately, but over time they sprout into something meaningful. The greatest transformations happen slowly and quietly. And by the time you realize how far you've come, it's because those small daily efforts have compounded into something extraordinary. The power of compounding doesn't just apply to tasks, it applies to mindset. Every time you push yourself to do something productive, even when you don't feel like it, you reinforce the belief that you're capable of progress. That belief fuels more action, and that action creates more results. It's a self-feeding cycle of growth. When you commit to taking one small step every day, you eliminate the pressure to do everything at once. You realize that progress isn't about speed, it's about direction. As long as you're moving forward, you're winning. The key is patience, because small actions don't bring instant results. Most people quit before they see the compounding effect take hold. But those who stay consistent, who keep doing the small things daily, build unstoppable momentum. Over time, those actions become automatic and progress becomes inevitable. The small things you do today may not look like much, but one day you'll look back and realize they were everything. The foundation of every goal achieved and every dream turned into reality. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement, because having goals, dreams, and plans means nothing without the daily commitment to act on them. Everyone has moments of inspiration where they set intentions to get fit, to build a business, to grow mentally or emotionally. But what separates success from stagnation is discipline. It's the force that carries you through the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Intention is the spark, but discipline is the fuel that keeps the fire burning long after motivation fades. Without discipline, even the best intentions dissolve into excuses. With it, even the smallest steps lead to victory over time. Discipline doesn't rely on feelings, it relies on choice. It demands action even when your mind tells you to rest, to quit, or to wait for a better moment. It's about doing what needs to be done, not what feels easy or convenient. The world is full of people with good intentions, but few who follow through, because following through requires the ability to sacrifice comfort for progress. Discipline is not glamorous. It's often repetitive, uncomfortable, and lonely. But it's also the most powerful form of self-respect, because it shows that you value your goals enough to pursue them regardless of obstacles. Each disciplined decision reinforces your strength, training your mind to obey your purpose instead of your emotions. When you practice discipline, you create structure in a chaotic world. You start to trust yourself because your actions align with your words. Over time, discipline builds confidence, the kind that doesn't depend on circumstances because it comes from within. The more disciplined you become, the less you rely on motivation to carry you forward. You realize that progress doesn't depend on perfect conditions, but on consistent effort. Discipline teaches patience, focus, and endurance. It's not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things repeatedly until they become habits. Every person who has achieved something great has done so through discipline. It's the invisible force behind every success story, the quiet strength that turns dreams into reality. Without it, talent remains potential and goals remain fantasies. But with discipline, even ordinary effort becomes extraordinary over time. It transforms intention into action, action into results, and results into growth. Discipline is not punishment, it's freedom, because it frees you from regret, procrastination, and inconsistency. It is the bridge that connects who you are today to who you have the power to become tomorrow. Every setback can become momentum if your mindset is right, because failure, disappointment, and struggle are not the end, they're the beginning of growth. The difference between people who give up and those who rise higher lies in how they interpret setbacks. When something goes wrong, most people see it as a sign to stop, as proof that they're not capable or that success isn't meant for them. But those with the right mindset see setbacks as feedback, as opportunities to learn, adapt, and build resilience. A setback doesn't destroy progress, it refines it. It forces you to analyze your weaknesses, strengthen your resolve, and come back sharper than before. Every challenge carries a lesson, and those lessons become the stepping stones toward future success. Life will always test your patience, your faith, and your persistence. Things rarely go exactly as planned, and it's easy to feel discouraged when progress slows down or reverses. But when you train your mind to see every obstacle as a teacher instead of an enemy, your setbacks start working for you, not against you. You stop wasting energy on self-pity and start focusing on solutions. You begin to understand that temporary failure doesn't define your worth. It defines your willingness to keep moving forward. Each time you recover from a setback, your mind becomes tougher, your confidence grows, and your capacity to handle adversity expands. What once broke you becomes the reason you rise stronger. Turning setbacks into momentum requires perspective. It's about shifting your focus from what you lost to what you can gain. Even when things fall apart, there's always something within your control, your attitude, your effort, your next move. That's where power lies. When you respond to setbacks with determination instead of defeat, you create motion. That motion may start slow, but it builds energy, and that energy transforms into momentum. Every comeback you make strengthens your belief that nothing can truly stop you. The truth is, progress is not a straight line. It's a cycle of trying, failing, learning, and rising again. Each fall gives you a new insight, a new strategy, and a new layer of toughness. People who learn to turn pain into progress become unstoppable because they stop fearing failure altogether. They understand that every setback is temporary, but the growth it creates is permanent. The right mindset doesn't avoid setbacks, it transforms them into fuel. When you learn to harness the power of adversity, even your lowest moments become the driving force that propels you forward. Consistency turns ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes because success is never built in a single day. It's constructed through small, repeated actions that compound over time. Many people underestimate the power of consistency because it doesn't give instant results. It's not exciting or dramatic, but it's the foundation of mastery in every area of life. When you show up every day, even when you don't feel like it, you build momentum that keeps growing stronger. Consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. It's about staying committed to the process, not waiting for motivation to appear. The people who achieve remarkable results are not necessarily the most talented. They are the ones who stayed consistent long after others gave up. Consistency builds habits, and habits build identity. When your daily actions align with your goals, you begin to see transformation not just in your results, but in who you are becoming. Each time you follow through on your commitments, you reinforce the belief that you can trust yourself, and that belief fuels more consistency. It's a cycle of progress that starts small but grows powerful over time. The greatest athletes, creators, and leaders didn't become great by doing something massive once. They became great by doing something meaningful every day, whether or not anyone was watching. Small wins, when accumulated, create massive change. The beauty of consistency is that it multiplies effort. A single disciplined action might not seem to make a difference today, but repeated consistently, it shapes your skills, strengthens your mindset, and builds your resilience. Consistency also eliminates the need to start over repeatedly. When you're consistent, you don't lose progress. You build upon it. It transforms learning into mastery because repetition ingrains skill. The person who practices one small discipline daily for a year will always surpass the one who works intensely for a week and then stops. Consistency is also the ultimate test of character. It demands patience when results are invisible, faith when progress is slow, and determination when motivation fades. It's easy to work hard when success feels close, but true consistency is about showing up when nothing seems to be working. That's where growth happens, when you push forward even in silence. Over time, consistency builds unstoppable momentum. It turns effort into excellence, dreams into achievements, and potential into proof. What starts as small, disciplined actions eventually becomes a lifestyle that produces success naturally. Consistency may not be loud, but its results speak louder than any words ever could. Progress is not about speed, it's about direction, because moving fast in the wrong direction leads nowhere meaningful. In a world obsessed with instant results and rapid success, many people mistake activity for achievement. They chase trends, compare their pace to others, and become frustrated when they don't see quick progress. But true growth isn't about how fast you move. It's about moving with clarity, purpose, and alignment. Direction gives meaning to your effort, ensuring that every step, no matter how small, takes you closer to where you truly want to be. Without direction, even the hardest work can feel empty, and progress becomes an endless cycle of doing more, but becoming less fulfilled. When you focus on direction, you shift from chasing outcomes to building foundations. You start asking deeper questions. Is this step aligned with my purpose? Does it take me closer to who I want to become? This level of awareness turns your energy into intention. Every decision, every habit, and every effort begins to serve a larger vision. Speed can make you reckless, but direction makes you intentional. It gives you the patience to endure slow progress because you know that slow progress in the right direction is infinitely more valuable than fast progress in the wrong one. People often burn out not because they're doing too little, but because they're running fast without clarity. They move in circles, constantly starting over, mistaking business for growth. But those who prioritize direction understand that progress is built on consistency, not chaos. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things with focus and commitment. Direction allows you to say no to distractions, no to comparison, and yes to the path that truly matters to you. It becomes your compass, guiding you even when motivation fades and obstacles rise. Real progress also requires constant recalibration. Even when you know your direction, life will test your focus with detours and delays. The key is to pause, reassess, and realign. Direction doesn't mean rigidity, it means awareness. It means being adaptable without losing sight of your destination. When you walk your path with purpose, you begin to realize that growth isn't measured by speed, but by depth, by how much you've learned, how strong you've become, and how close you've stayed to your truth. Moving with direction turns every step into progress, every struggle into purpose, and every day into a meaningful chapter in your journey forward.